What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop MLB DFS conversation starts right now on a Wednesday. There was an early slate. I think Kirk D's did pretty well in that slate. Now we have to bank it and take all the money tonight. Do it. That's a like button. Do subscribe. Do turn on those notifications. Do not go anywhere because you got us in crunch time for the next 2 hours. Neil Orfield and Dave Potts, as well as Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth, coming on in about an hour. I do have his weather reports. Just the one big one we're kind of monitoring, I suppose, is Kansas City. It's got a big old yellow, but Roth basically, he says he'll circle back on it. Ed, go ahead and drop that in chat for the people. 2 different slates tonight, 7 o'clock start. That's right, exactly 7 o'clock start on DK. I think that's because my guess it's like an Apple TV time or something like that, which is why the game's starting at 7 o'clock, first pitch.
What I would like to know is why are my Red Sox starting early all of a sudden? Like,
is it a school? Maybe it's during the school thing. And
school vacation week. That is.
Is that what it is?
Maybe it has to be that. I never even thought of that.
A lot of teams did, like when school was in, they would start like 6:45. Like none of the Marlins did that for a while. I think Tampa did that for a while. And then when school was out, when it's summertime, they stretch it back to 7 o'clock, 7:05.
Well, Boston would be doing the opposite then right now. Like they're making for some reason like they've never started at 6:45.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. That is on the FanDuel slate. Newcomb versus Hancock, one of the better spots as far as hitting, 9.5 total. And Baltimore, Washington, 9.5 total. Sagano, Williams. I don't really think it matters so much as far as pitching, but as far as actual like stacks, FanDuel just looks better from a hitting perspective as far as the teams you have to pick from. It's an 8-gamer on DK. There are a couple teams that have a team total above 5. Minnesota taking on Bryce Wilson. Casey's almost at 5, taking on Herman Marquez, who's been not very good these days, obviously. A little bit surprising that Arizona's got a 5 total against Taj Bradley. Bradley's a pretty good pitcher, but Arizona, solid offense. The roof is open. I did a little Google on that. Apparently, roof is open in Arizona in the desert. It should be in the 80s or so. The Athletics just sent down Muncy, just kind of a heads up. He's in our projected lineup. He's not going to be playing baseball tonight for the A's. We should expect the debut of Nick Kurtz, who's been just electric, one of the biggest prospects in baseball. He's pretty cheap as well.
He does it all. He's got power, speed, the whole shebang.
Yeah, he's he was up yesterday. They didn't want to start him. I guess they wanted him to get acclimated. They didn't want to start him against the lefty. He's starting today against another guy that's supposed to be a phenom. Obviously, he's been kind of up and down, but we've seen him flash good stuff on occasion as a rocker. So rocker taking on Kurtz. Do not expect Seager to play in that game. No lineup out just yet, but he left yesterday's game. I believe it was a hammy. So do not anticipate him to play baseball tonight. For the Rangers, we have a 10-gamer again on FanDuel, 8-gamer on DK. How you feeling today, Kirkwood? Everything all right? Everything good? And, I need the screenshot. How are we feeling about today's slate where it's, some days I feel really good. I have some hot takes. I have some strong takes. I feel, and it blows up my face. Sometimes it works out. So be it. Baseball. I'm kind of lukewarm on a lot of things. I don't have a lot of like, this is for sure what I'm doing. I think Texas is my favorite offense. We'll talk about it. But, I'm curious your assessment. How are we feeling about the slate tonight?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I had a ton of strong takes at the moment, but as we go through the show, I'm sure they will happen, and that's how I will attack this slate tonight. So I haven't built my lineup yet. I've just registered everything.
Same.
And I will we will figure it out together on the show here. But I had a good afternoon slate, so I'm in a good mood. I was in a bad mood last night because that Orioles kid from chat, the secret chat, right? So we all went in on this with Chop and on a NCAA March Madness pool thing, like a story that would make you guys really laugh. But I'll do that another time. I don't have the time for it. But anyway, we did this Calcutta thing, and so we made like some decent money, but not nearly as much as we thought we were. And so we were like, we got to at least double. We got to keep going and like try to like build this. And this kid convinces everyone to do 7. Everybody pick a home run.
What are you doing?
do round robins, home run parlays, and I'm like, this is the worst possible bets that we could be doing right now. This is the highest rake, like the highest juice on any bet that
Donkey play, donkey move.
ever make, right? And it's April, right? And so we got one home run, which was mine. I was the only one who picked the guy for home run. Was Rooker. I took Rooker. I took the easy.
Well, I mean, that was the low-hanging fruit, but congratulations.
Well, no one else, everyone else busted.
Yeah.
So I was in a bad mood about that, but had a good day slate today.
Berger was my sneaky homer call in the survey, so there you go. Berger got there as well.
He was up there on the bat. The bat liked him for a home run. My Tommy Edman was my play of the night last night, by the time Texas went nuked, they nuked the slate. Yeah.
We talked about the Dodgers yesterday, and we talked about the home and the fly ball stuff from Imanaga and the weather there as well. The weather not as positive for hitting homers today. I'm checking out Weather Edge. I want to see if anything changed. I'm going to give it a refresh. Last I saw, it's pretty neutral for Chicago. It's neutral most places, neutral in Boston. I know you got boots in the ground. Nothing really significant. Weather in the high 60s. Pretty neutral in Washington. Yeah, neutral for Chicago. It's 67 with kind of a crosswind, but nothing significant as far as the previous games. The biggest boost, I suppose, is Minnesota, 54-game sample. It's 65, so it's not hot, but wind is blowing out to basically dead center. The dew is 34. Seeing a bump in homers at 34%. Casey's looking super neutral as well. Big sample, not a lot changing. Some crosswinds. And also, again, that's officially yellow, according to Roth. He'll have an update on that in about an hour or so. You know what? I just hit refresh. He has another update. Now it's yellow-orange. So I will drop this in chat once again. Let me read this. Rain now looks fairly likely to move into KC during the game, likely right around first pitch. Okay. Models do have a good agreement that tonight rain will gradually fade away. My most likely outcome at this point would be a late start, lengthy delay, and eventual clean 9. Possible outcomes include literally everything else: postpone, clean game, in-game delay. We'll post an update closer to first pitch. Okay, so worth monitoring.
So comes in around first pitch. So he thinks they're going to play through some of the rain at first, or no? So a late start and then a lengthy delay, or a lengthy delay till the late start.
He says late start, lengthy delay. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, is the late start the lengthy delay? I see what you're saying. I don't know if the rain jumps in and out. Roth, of course, will add some clarity to this when he jumps on in an hour and maybe get some more information. But
because he says eventual clean 9, so then he's got to be that's going to be a lengthy late start.
Yeah, and like, how much do we want pitchers there anyway? We don't care about pitchers, right?
Lorenzen.
I guess, yeah, you could, yeah.
I would, if I'm not backing down, man. If I would throw a sweaty Shavelson out there, and I would against the Rockies on the road. Lorenzen, I certainly can throw too.
Yeah, you don't want me pitching. I'm sure I've said this before, but like they tried me one time, when I was playing. This is many years ago. They threw me in the mound because I'm a lefty, I suppose, in practice, and then first pitch I broke. I don't know why they put a hitter in the box. I don't know why they did that, but I broke my teammate's nose. So I had to. All right, get back to first. First base it is. So, and I'm not even like a big velocity. I didn't have like the electric arm. That wasn't my specialty. But yeah,
that was my weakness, was arm.
Yeah,
that ruined my playing career. That and the curveball.
Many years later, like Pedro Serrano. Many years later, I was on like some softball teams and everything. Like, yeah, I can play third base, and you get to third, like on a real baseball field, a real softball, like 90 feet. That is a throw. That is not easy.
Well, I used to play short, and because I had a great glove, and then they had to move me to second because of the arm.
Yeah,
and then it was like a phobia in my head. It was like something mental about my arm, and I would like shot put it sometimes. It was
you got that Chuck Knobloch disease.
Yeah.
Google that one, kids. All right, let's see. 8-gamer DK, 10-gamer FanDuel. You are right, by the way. I don't know why I was dismissive of any pitcher that's throwing baseballs against Colorado. Lorenzen's kind of one of the cheapy default SP2s. Logan Webb's going to be the most popular pitcher. He has a ridiculous K rate on this season, which I don't fully buy, but he's just still like the best pitcher and in the best ballpark. And that's just who I'm going to play. And the field's going to play him at 46%. And, Webb is just a maestro when it comes to getting ground balls.
I buy it.
What's that?
I buy it.
You buy the 33% K rate this season?
I've been saying throughout Logan Webb's entire his short career, that this guy can strike people out and can, if he wants to pitch a certain way, he's got the arsenal to strike batters out. And I think it's a little bit of both this year. I think obviously he's running good, but I also think there's more of a focus on his pitch mix to strike guys out. I think he's nasty. I've always thought he's nasty.
I think he's nasty too. I just don't think it's going to strike out 30% of hitters. Last year he struck out 20%, so that's a huge jump. Obviously, awesome pitcher, and he just gets a pile of ground balls in a ballpark. Just the combination of his ground balls and the lack of fly balls, obviously, just sort of his control in general, and the ballpark there. The chances of him giving up like 2 or 3 homers in a game are so minuscule. As opposed to a slew of other pitchers. He just feels safe. I know we don't like the word safe, but are you leaning in? It sounds like you're leaning in. You're just going to play him, and that's that, and kind of move on and figure out the SP2.
I mean, it's him and Peralta. Well, I'd say it's him, Peralta, and Erod potentially are the high-end guys. It's what we have. I think Webb is the best pitcher on the slate for sure. It's probably not the greatest matchup, but I'm totally on this slate. I think he's great.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if not him, if not Webb, then who?
I mean, you can go right the other side of Peralta. Yeah,
great ballpark as well, and I'm fine playing them together. If you want to play them together, I don't. Some people are concerned, like, oh, you can't get 2 wins. I don't care. I mean, you want the win points, sure, I'll take them, but it's not necessarily do or die. This Milwaukee lineup is pretty contact heavy, right? 18.7% as far as Ks versus righties dating back to last season. Don't love that. But still, I think Webb should be, he should put up a clean. He's not going to be a full clean sheet, but probably gets the QS for you. We'll take the quality start. How do you feel about Peralta? Is he the next man up for you? You kind of mentioned him, and you're okay pairing them together.
Yeah, but you probably need some money for bats, so you probably want a little bit of savings, which would put me. That's why I was totally fine playing Lorenzen. Shavelson, get in there. Shavelson. Sorry, I can't say. Sorry,
it's a tricky name. Yeah, it's
being wrong. Shavelson. I got to remember shaving.
Shave your son.
Shave your son.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I will say, I mentioned earlier, Texas is my favorite offense. They're really cheap. When you take Seager out of the lineup, they're really cheap. It's not hard to get Webb, Peralta, and Texas. Now, maybe everybody else sees that too, but it's not hard at all to get Texas and Webb, Peralta. But again, maybe it's too obvious, and you got to be different as far as your minis, outside of the stack.
The reality is, Dean, all you got to do is score the most points.
Yeah.
If you think that's the best path to scoring the most points and you like it, just play it in smaller field, higher stuff,
Yeah, but I don't know that because it's baseball and it's, the worst hitter in the world can be the best scorer on that particular slate. We've seen it before where the 9-hitter bangs out 2 homers, and if it's John Birdie, who's batting 9th tonight for Chicago, taking on the Dodgers, basically a bullpen game there. But I do want to mention, I should shout this out. It is Wednesday. We had Wheel Wednesday for a while. We've not been getting enough likes for producer Steve's liking, so he sort of took it away. He's giving you guys a chance to get Wheel Wednesday back. If we get 75 likes by 4:20, I'm assuming he's doing that Tennessee time. So in a minute, let's give him 5 more minutes just in case if they're not fully locked in. But yeah, if we get the 75 likes, we'll spin that wheel and give out a free week of RG Premium. And he would go ahead and drop the link there in the Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel, and I guess an avatar. But again, I'm not sure if the time is up. Let's see how kind Steve is as far as extending it. But otherwise, maybe next time, maybe next Wednesday, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Friday. We give away premium stuff all the time. All right. Other pitchers that are worth a gander. There's not a lot. It's not very good. I like Taj Bradley's stuff. I just don't really love the matchup, and I wish the roof was closed there in Arizona. We have an Andrew Heaney revenge game, but he's vulnerable to righty power. And there's Ward, and there's Trout, and there's Soler, and there's O'Hoppe, and there's Adele. I think you can kind of play both sides of that. Erod versus Tampa.
I like it.
Rocker. Rocker's really cheap. I'll give him that. He's shown flashes.
So he does. Obviously, he's supposed to be good, and he does have some decent stuff. He's got like some command issues, but he struggles with lefties, and this is a different. He had a pretty good start in his last one, but they don't have a bunch of good power hitting lefties like Oakland has. So I like bats on both sides of that game, just like
Same.
Last night. It's in the park. It's the way the teams hit, and the pitching is subpar, I would say. So I think both sides are. I'd rather take the bats. I wouldn't play Rocker. If I wanted to go down, I'd play like Francis.
Yeah, I think it's Francis.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need it again. I don't think I'm going to need it. I'm probably going to stick with Webb, Peralta. I'm interested in Lorenzen if we get the all clear. We'll see what Roth says. It sounds like dicey for now. Festa, I'm just concerned that they're going to baby him. Minnesota babies all their pitchers. I don't know how deep he can go. We're currently projecting 83 pitches, and it's a pretty big tag, 8-8, right? It's not that cheap for a guy that's maybe he goes 5 innings, depending on how efficient he is. How do you feel about Festa?
I don't feel great about him. I think he's in the mix if you really want to go down, but I'm avoiding him personally. I just don't think he has the greatest stuff, and I just like other guys for the same price. But if I was MMEing tonight, I would have some Festa. It's a good matchup.
Festa for the rest of us.
You can make some names. Party, Fiesta. Play a little. It's the White Sox, right? Like so.
Joshua Palacios is leading off.
You know what? I might end up coming around to Festa, but
I think Festa's kind of good. I think he's actually, but again, I'm just concerned with like how quick that hook's going to be. 26.2% as far as the Ks. And again, we talk about the White Sox, how terrible they are every single day. There's no reason. It's not a good lineup. There's a few players here who are professional baseball players, but Vargas has been a disaster so far in the majors.
The Red Sox can't beat them for some reason.
Did Chicago take 2 of 3?
They're like 3-3, I think, on the season now.
They swept them.
No, they're 3-3. Like
3-3. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I don't know if I don't think they swept them. On the season so far, and I think the White Sox had 2 other wins total when I heard that weren't the Red Sox.
We talk about all the righty hitters for Houston. Francis, the only lefty in this lineup, as it always is Yordan Alvarez. Any other pitchers that we want to focus on, that we want to talk about that are of note? Do you have an official Andrew Heaney take? Because I feel like that's one of those where it can go either way. Just kind of lean into variance and, make one Angel stack, make one. I know you only make one lineup essentially, but you got to make a call. But, there's certainly a chance where Heaney can strike out 7, or he can go with 3 homers, or he can do both.
Yeah, so that's the problem. And you don't get there was a time when he was a pretty good strikeout pitcher. You don't get that much anymore, but I think I would roll him out against the Angels. It's like really, not scared of the Angels lineup by any means. Just that, that front couple with Trout there. And Soler hasn't been hitting well, so
it's just all righties, which is kind of an issue.
But it's a little revenge there. I think that could work out.
Do we think Haney is vengeful? I don't know with the back.
Okay, I'd go Festa over Haney, but I would probably go Francis over Haney too. But I would still play Haney. Those would be like the three.
All right. Anybody else we should acknowledge as far as pitchers? I kind of mentioned Bradley in passing. Good stuff, just not the best matchup. Certainly you can roster him. It is also a pile of lefties. Let me see if I can count these lefties up. And give me a second. I went to UCF, so it's going to take a minute. It's 6 lefties. 6 lefties versus Bradley. What's interesting, last 30 days, Bradley has been much better versus lefties than versus righties. Let me include last season. Let's get a bigger sample. Yeah, kind of neutral, actually. A little bit better against righties. What does the bat say? I'm always curious, bat kind of as a take on it as far as the pitcher is probably going to say close to neutral when it comes to Bradley. Oh, they're calling Bradley reverse, which is interesting. Okay. Shout out to Derek Hardy and the bat. Bradley's somebody like, I don't know, maybe I need 10 lineups, 15 lineups, but I would get to him eventually. One of the better pitchers, just I don't necessarily.
He's definitely one of the better pitchers on the mound. So I would put him higher than you, a little bit higher than you, because it's the Diamondbacks, but like when a pitcher who has like the stuff like he does, then you can, if you're on, you can mow down any lineup. So obviously they don't strike out a lot. They take a lot of walks. They steal bags. They've got a complete offense team, but any given night, Taj could go out there and throw a decent game against them. So just from a talent standpoint, he's up there.
Jason Tatum, by the way, remains doubtful. If you're looking for an update on Tatum,
they're not going to play him.
I wouldn't think so,
unless the series gets out of hand or something.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that. You don't necessarily need him versus Orlando. Looks
like Eric Johnson's playing Boyd.
Yeah, I mean,
Dodgers.
I wouldn't do it. You could survive it, but I wouldn't do it. By the way, did we just get a Chicago lineup? I saw it pop up on the screen, but I have not seen it officially released. We're anticipating Turner in there and Suzuki out. Oh, there it is. Happ, Tucker, Turner, Bush, Swanson, Horner, PCA, Kelly, and Birdie. Somebody asked about Kasparius, the opener for LA. It looks like a full-on bullpen game. He's not going to throw more than like maybe 3 innings, maybe. There's no chance. Like I'm not going to. The slate's not that bad where I would consider. What is the upside? Maybe you get 12 points if everything falls in your way. No. Would you consider rostering him? It's a no from me.
No.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear. I assumed it was a no from you as well.
And even though Boyd is pretty good, I don't want a lefty facing Mookie Betts, Teoscar, Edman, and then Shohei, Freeman. No thanks.
That's
bottom of lineup you could certainly do well against, but I mean that's a game. I mean, I like both offenses in this game for sure. I mean, how can you not like the Cubs and the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, and that was kind of like made some noise yesterday. I had some chances. I had some lineups, didn't quite get there, and we gave that take yesterday as far as just all these bad offenses are going to be super owned. I don't have to harp on yesterday, but just sort of the general thoughts. Like, and people aren't playing the Dodgers and the Cubs, who are really, really good. Okay, let's just play those guys. And it worked out. And we just got the Angels, by the way. I don't think it's anything goofy in there. Darno. Oh, it's Darno and not Ohapi. Noah. Is that Ohapi against his former pitcher? Yes. So Darno, Ohapi's taken a seat. Otherwise, I think that's pretty standard.
Was Ohapi there when Haney was there?
I think Ohapi caught Hot Heaney last season. So yeah, if you're asking like if he's
Haney was on the, he did work.
What's that?
Never mind. Ohapi caught him last season.
Wasn't Heaney on the Angels last year when Ohapi was there?
I don't know. Was he? He was back on the Angels. I don't remember where the hell he was. I know he was on Texas for a while. I'd have to hit Fangraphs on him. Where?
I'm pretty sure Haney.
He was an angel. He was an angel again last season.
I think.
I didn't. It makes
was
sense.
it
I
Texas?
wouldn't remember.
He was in Texas too, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter because we have a Hoppy not playing. It's actually Darno.
No, he was on Texas.
My bad.
Yeah, tried to mess me up.
No, I wasn't trying to mess you up. I wasn't saying that definitively. I'll take the L. He has not been on the Angels since 2020, apparently. So, yeah, it all just sort of meshes together. Anything else as far as pitchers, or shall we pivot and talk about our stacks?
All right. I'm warming up to Festa, but I hate the pitch count limitation and the price tag. But the White Sox are dog water. But Logan Webb is my clear number 1. Freddie Peralta is my number 2. Eduardo Rodriguez is my number 3. My number 4, actually, if we get the okay from Roth, which I think we will, I'd pair any of those with Lorenzen and be completely happy. I know Dave doesn't like Lorenzen, Cheese, because of the chalkiness, but I don't think he's going to get too out of hand. And again, I would throw anyone against the Rockies on the road.
Scott's asking
this lineup is just laughably so bad. Like so many strikeouts. It's just, have you seen the amount of strikeouts like in that lineup? They don't have anybody they have one batter who's not red in the projected lineup.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Scott is asking about pitchers on FanDuel. There's 2 extra games on FanDuel, but I wouldn't consider the pitchers on FanDuel as far as the 2 extra games. Sagano is not throwing any strikes, not striking anybody out. Newcomb, Hancock, and Trevor Williams, all those guys are off the board for me. So I wouldn't add any new names. Is there anything different you're seeing on FanDuel? Just play Webb and make it work. Any thoughts?
No, I would go Webb, Peralta, Lorenzen, Festa, Eduardo Rodriguez, and I would call it a day.
Okay, going to talk stacks in a second. Going to give our tiers in a second. Kirkwood was kind enough to rank our board. It's a fun conversation we'll have. I know producer Steve's got a hot take in relation to that board, but before we get there, do want to mention Combo Pro 6-month. It gives you full access to all our content. That's the tools, that's the projections, all the bells, all the whistles. You get the articles, the expert rankings, the optimizer, lineup HQ, plate IQ, and not just baseball, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, PGA, MMA, all the sports with the exception of NASCAR. It's a cheaper price when you have the monthly package. You actually save 35% when you choose, that's the 6-month route. Sign up. You get MLB projections, NBA projections, all the goods. Check out the link in the description for more. And additionally, do want to shout out the props and pick'em package, with features daily prop picks from fantasy pick'em selections from many of your favorite RG experts. And right now, we're knocking 50% off the price for your first month when you sign up with the link below. We were talking homers yesterday, talking about scores and odd stuff. I want to shout out our boy Grant Neefer, doing some good work out there. You know, you said your crew, or your everybody picks a homer and you round robin them. Didn't work out yesterday. Look, eventually this has to come down, but Grant's like 40%, something really goofy with all his homers and his videos. So he's having a good time there and making some money. I think he had banged out 2 out of 3 yesterday as far as the Grant's. Why can't I think of turd bombs? I couldn't think of the term, but shout out to Grant, who is. So
he must have had someone. He must have had Rooker, someone in Texas, maybe Edmund. He had. Yeah,
I did. It's been on. It's all documented. He's got his. It's on Twitter. Langford was the guy in Texas. There you go. Shout out to producer Steve. But Grant has been on.
It felt like a knife in my back when that happened. It was just awful.
Tim is telling us Suzuki was scratched. Yeah, we got that. I think Turner's in there now. I think that's already been changed, but thank you for that.
Oh, he's so bad.
Suzuki or Tim? Or who's so bad?
Justin Turner.
Oh, yeah, the leprechaun. Yeah, he's not good. Yeah, it's who's worse, though? Jock Peterson. Who I think he's over his last 40. And I know, sample size.
Well, at least we know he's not juicing. Like, he's just, getting fat, like, pudgy. It's like.
I played a little bit last night too, just because it was a good.
Yeah, he was
spot.
$7 on Yahoo. I had him.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to make the lineup tonight. I'm fairly certain because it's JP Sears, but he might jump in as a pinch hitter at some point and kind of take out somebody you're considering. But Kevin Pillar is currently projected, which, by the way, what a terrible platoon, right? Pillar and Jock Peterson. I think Jock's going to be fine eventually. I think so. But yeah, it's been a rough start to the season, and just his Texas tenure, right? This is his first season with the Rangers, and it's been a stone disaster. Okay, gonna rank our teams by tiers. What is today's tier category? And before we officially reveal the answers, we have to have the chat chime in with their thoughts. Set the category for us, Kirkwood.
We're running out of categories.
No, we're not.
Here. So Dean tracked me down. I tried to hide from him for a little while.
He tries to dodge me.
I gave in. I get the same message. It says, "Hey, any chance you got anything for tiers this evening?" ? Or are you all set? And I've ignored it for about 30 times. I probably said last 30 shows, and so
I'm persistent.
it's always it's still coming back. So I had to be like, fine, all right. What hasn't been done? All right. Well, what do you do in life? Well, I like going to a nice steakhouse. I was thinking I was hungry, steakhouse. So I was like, let's talk about a nice steakhouse. What type of meat? What type of meat are you ordering? What are you ordering when you go there? So that is the categories, the cuts of steak.
Yeah, and I stepped out on this one. I let you handle it. It's not necessarily something I'm an expert in. I don't go to a fine steak restaurants terribly often. It's been 6 months, maybe a year since I've last been to one. So it's been
special occasions.
Yeah.
Do you like steak?
Sure, but I if we're doing like dollar for dollar, I don't think it's worth the difference in like chicken. It's not extremely better than chicken. And chicken's like,
if you're gonna splurge, like that's where you should splurge at a nice steakhouse. I think.
I would not.
Although I will say, like I have my other loves, like hot pot. I've talked about before on the show.
Hot pot.
Yeah, hot pot.
Hot pot.
Yeah.
Is that a Boston thing, or is that something?
No, it's an Asian thing. It's.
Is that a sound effect from Steve? Or are you doing something? What is that noise?
Steve was sizzling in the hot pot.
Is that what that was? We should bring Steve in.
Which could be for steak too,
Yeah. I'm not aware of hot pot. I'm gonna have to Google and see what that is. I've heard
of shabu.
Never
heard of it. Yeah, you live in Florida, right?
Yeah. I bounced around. I've been around. But all right, so explain your board because the people want to know why things are where they're at.
All right. If a good steakhouse offers prime rib, like as a special or something, I always get it because I love prime rib. That might be a little I think that's a good take. But also typically if you're just like regular cuts of beef, where ribeye is the best in my opinion, if done well, it's the fat has the most fat. So a good ribeye, number one for the taste. Now then below, I'm totally fine with getting a New York strip or filet, and I'll be just as happy either way. Strip is a little fattier and better, but sometimes I don't want the fat, and I like the tender, but you don't get as much flavor with the filet. We had to have like a low tier. I would say flank steak is the worst. I hate flank steak, to be honest. I don't know if you ever gotten like one of those veins in it, or seen like the veins they have in the flank steak.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I've never ordered a flank steak before. I
don't even think they offer it at high-end places, but if they did,
yeah,
that would be the low. But I had to put the bottom as like the guy who comes into a nice steakhouse and orders the burger. Like, that's ridiculous. And that might be you, Dean. That might be you.
I'm okay ordering a burger, but look, it depends. I'll tell you, I made this one mistake. You ever go to dinner with like 80 of your friends or whatever, and at the end of the meal, it's like, oh, let's just split it 8 ways. And I'm the schmuck that like ordered the burger, and like I didn't get an appetizer. I didn't order like 3 adult beverages. It's like, oh, let's chop it up 8 ways. And it's like, I'm paying like $70 now for a burger. What just happened here?
The dumbest thing is Wagyu burgers. Wagyu burger. It's so stupid.
I haven't had it before, but I've heard good things. Andrew says I only know 8 people. Yeah, I don't don't have 8 friends anymore. Once upon a time, I had 8 friends. But the chat is saying that prime rib and ribeye are essentially the same. It's just a preparation.
Well, it is a preparation, and you get like a monster cut prime rib. It would be like a king's cut like that they do. It's a little different, but yes, if you took the prime rib and you cut it and made you filleted it, whatever, it would be just a ribeye.
So Steve's hot take, I don't know if he wants to come on the show and defend it. We're going to talk about stacks in a second. There's an hour and 20 minutes to lock. I promise you, we're going to knock all this out. We have a crunch time coming on in about 25, 30 minutes or so. Neil and I believe Dave Potts and Kevin Roth. But Steve's take is that skirt steak is the best.
No,
it's not the best. It's the most economical.
I'm not saying it's the best. It's
your favorite.
It's my favorite. I know it's not the best, but it's my favorite.
Little chimichurri. You ever do a little chimichurri on it?
Yep. When a skirt steak is cooked the right way and cut the right way, it's amazing. It's got such good flavor. Okay. But I know it's not popular. It's also not the best, but it's my favorite. I love it.
There you go.
Do you, Steve? Do you?
Hoosier saying Banner says I'm probably a Steakums guy. I'm not.
So that's gotta be
not very
Steve's
good.
burner. We just found Steve's burner that he posted up on there.
Defending his takes. Do we want to throw the FanDuel teams on the board? How are we handling this?
Yeah, skirt steaks is for fajitas or chimichurri. But what'd you say? What do we want to do?
I'm asking you, we're going to be ranking the stacks. Are we throwing the FanDuel teams on the board?
The extra ones?
Yeah, Boston, Seattle is on FanDuel 645, as well as Washington and Baltimore.
Yeah,
it's distinctly different because they're actually pretty good offenses, and they changed the slate significantly.
Yeah, I think that's just a really good spot for the Red Sox.
Okay, yeah, they have a 5-team total against Emerson Hancock. The Mariners are plus 120. Boston's a big favorite here. Big favorite, minus 140. Where are we throwing Boston and Seattle on the board?
On this slate, I'm putting Boston right up there in prime rib.
Okay, so Boston and prime rib. Where is Seattle?
Emerson Hancock is terrible.
He's not good. Yeah.
He misses no bats. Like, that's just dangerous. Way too dangerous. So I also think Newcomb is terrible too.
Yeah.
But so I think you could put Seattle. Yeah, I think that's probably fine right in the middle there. Because Seattle still kind of stinks. We'll strike out a ton, but on the road they're just so much better. And Dylan Moore, obviously, when he goes off, it's game over. It's like he ends up hitting 2 homers and stealing a base.
There's some recency bias there. I don't think he's that guy.
No, he's always been like that. Like if he does something, he's gonna do it big.
Yeah. To be fair, he's been really good against lefties. 248 ISO, 379 WOBA, and a pretty big sample, 200 bats versus lefties. So yeah, I don't mind the Moore call. And of course, the big dumper, Kyle Raleigh.
Big dumper.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Did you see
feels like you should bet him for home run?
Yeah,
against Newcomb.
John Boy had a good video of him. I love the John Boy breakdowns about him stealing signs. It's pretty always worth a watch.
Let's not go stealing signs.
Yeah, I think he was stealing signs from Jose Barrios.
Nice.
Yeah, while he was on second base, like giving him to the hitter.
Nice.
With like his hand, like as an indicator. It seemed like.
I love that. I do. I like that's part of the game.
I love those the little nuances of the game. Sagano taking on Trevor Williams, 9.5 total. Baltimore in Washington. Baltimore the 5 total locked in for 9. No matter how things go. Where do we have the Orioles?
Can we say it yet? Can we finally say it?
Oh,
Baltimore stinks. Can we say that? How many times do they have to lose by 3 touchdowns to a team?
Is that a reference to the Reds scoring 24 against them, I assume?
Yeah, and amongst they're probably not the only one.
Yeah.
Only ones.
Are they dog water? Is that where you're getting
dog water? I love it. I love watching this kid get upset in chat. I love it. But anyways, like in a reality, Trevor Williams is a home run prone pitcher that pitched out of his mind last year for some reason that I still don't know why. And the Orioles look like they should have the firepower to go off. It's a good park.
Look at the screen.
But yeah. But it's got to be outside, like in dirt too. So, and you get me a big slobbery dog, like you ever seen those dogs that are just huge slobber? It just hangs there from their mouth.
Like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
The dog from Christmas Vacation. Remember Snots?
I don't. I should though. I love
random reference for you. Yeah.
Pete. I mean, Steve. Find a slobbery dog water. See what that. You're
gonna see his search history. But yeah, I like the Baltimore offense. Call me a sucker, but I like the Baltimore offense today, taking on Trevor Williams, who is just, he's just super average. He's super average, but I trust this Baltimore offense is going to figure it out soon enough. Where are you putting Baltimore and Washington?
I mean, both of this sides should go off too in this game. So I think you got to put them both up in the under ribeye.
Yeah. I love James Wood against a pitcher that doesn't strike anybody out too. The power in him is immense. If he's not getting struck out, he's hitting the ball pretty hard.
Just missing Abrams does so much to that lineup.
I agree. Still in the IL. Okay, let's talk about Wrigley today. It is Matthew Boyd taking on. It's a bullpen game for the Dodgers. Kasperius drawing the start for LA, probably going 2-3 depending on. We did see Suzuki was scratched. Looked like Justin Turner jumped in there batting third. No Will Smith for the Dodgers today. It's Austin Barnes doing the catching. If you're looking at their lineup, trying to figure out what's different. Where do we have the Dodgers and the Cubbies?
Right there. Keep at it. Keep going. Yep. Right there in ribeye. These are two of the most potent offenses in baseball. And Matt Boyd, although has been good, has been very homer prone and throughout his career. And Betts, Teoscar, Edman, and then like the lefties you have to deal with, which should be good. Matchups are Freddie Freeman and Shohei, who both can hit left-handed pitching. This just is not a good matchup for Boyd. Eric will play him. Maybe he'll be right tonight. But give me those guys, both offenses in this game.
All right, both are in ribeye. Still no teams in flank or burger just yet. Toronto Astros 8.5. Bowden Francis, who by the way was named after Coach Bowden because he was born in Tallahassee. So like 100% that has to be where he got his name from. Taking on Ryan Gusto, spectacular last name. Where do we have the Blue Jays and the Astros?
Blue Jays, I'm going down. I'm going down lower. I think Francis will take care of this lineup. He's dramatically better against right-handed hitters. If he can pitch around Yordan, then I think he should have a good outing. So I would put. Leave him in flank, I guess. And then for the
I'm not seeing a huge split, by the way, as far as the righty-lefty split for Francis. You're seeing a big split?
Yeah. Look at last season.
All right. I guess the WOBA for lefties is actually higher, but okay, as it should be. But yeah, okay. I think it's like a small. Fair enough. I shouldn't have halted the show for it, but continue.
Well, it's for strikeouts. 16% strikeout rate.
That's right.
To left-handed hitters last season.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Ks are definitely dramatic. That's fair. Contact heavy lineup for what it's worth, but yeah. I think he does all right today. I'm not really on Houston.
Yeah. But on the other side, I think you can put the Blue Jays up one higher against Gusto. Wait and see on this kid for right now, but I think the Blue Jays get the better of them in this one. So I like.
What's wrong with Vladdy?
I mean, he did finally homer, right?
He's got one in the season. Good for him.
And Santander has been terrible too.
Yeah, both been pretty bad.
But if you trust their long-term numbers, then they look like a pretty good stack. Plus, you get the little, you get the Springer, little jazzed up for a matchup against the Astros.
For what it's worth, by Vlad, looking at the advanced stuff on Savant, average exit velocity 92nd percentile, hard hit percentage 95th percentile, the X slug 82nd, X batting average 96. So all the advanced stuff say like he's fine.
He hits the ball hard. He just doesn't hit the ball out.
Yeah. He hits it too many ground balls, right? He's got a career high walk rate too, so 16% Ks, no outliers there. I think he'll be fine. All right. Yeah, just thought it'd be worth acknowledging. He's still crazy cheap on FanDuel. One of these days he's going to pay that tag off. Let's move along the next game. Let's see. Do we have any more lineups coming on through? I think we do. We get the Giants. We'll talk about them in a second. Kurtz, by the way, batting seventh. For the
What's
Athletics.
his price?
Say it again.
What's his price?
I think he's like 2K on FanDuel, unless it changed, and at 3.5 on DK. Is he still 2K on FanDuel? That's what he was yesterday when he didn't play. Yeah, he's 2.4. Yeah, 2.4 on FanDuel, and DK, I think he's 3.5. So, yeah.
Have some fun. Put him in your lineup tonight.
Yeah. He's probably $7 on Yahoo.
Oh, that's a good point.
I haven't looked. I don't know. That's your turf.
I haven't looked either. The action is so dead. I spend like 2 minutes on my lineup.
You're playing against the same 10 people every day?
We can't even get 10 people.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump.
Whoever's running it, they people left, and the guys who used to be there, who used to make the contests, are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Whoever's doing it now, I have no idea who's doing it. It's like they're the worst at their job I've ever seen.
What, they should slide into your DMs? Don't they know you're kid?
The people I used to know who were there, like I used to constantly tell them, like, you should do this, you should do this, like these are and they love that, and they would like implement little like changes and stuff. But yeah, I don't even know how to get in touch with anyone.
Wilson versus Festa. Festa and the Twins, monster favorites, -270, a team total above 5, 8.5 total when you combine both teams. But the White Sox just barely over 3. We still have a cheap Luke Keishel. Buxton made a nice play yesterday to close the game out. Julian still leading off and still stinking. Where do we have the Twins and the White Sox?
First of all, Yahoo doesn't even have them in the player pool.
Oh, well, there you go. They're not on top of things. Yesterday, he should have been in the player pool, but continue.
Yeah. All right. So the White Sox, they're in the bottom. I mean, Benintendi's been doing all right so far this season. I think you could home run hunt catcher with Dice. Robert is always is just cheap, and he will steal bags, and he just homered against the Red Sox. So I think like you could pick out like a little bit, a couple of these guys, but there's just not much here. On the other side, they didn't really do much last night, the Twins. But Wilson, terrible. Bullpen, not so hot. Wind blowing out a little bit to right field. Temp isn't that great. It's like in the 60s. But I like Buxton. I like Larnach yesterday for home run. I like him again today. The same thing. Plus, he's so cheap, and yeah, you have to worry about pinch hit risk a little bit with him. But for 2.9K on DK, giddy up. But Byron Buxton again, he was in our home run parlay last night that did nothing.
There are 4 lefties in that pen for Chicago, just of note, and none of them pitched yesterday, so they're all rested.
Yeah, they're coming.
Just telling you. I'm not sure that the pinch hits are going to happen, but it feels like a
2.9K. That's the only reason.
Yeah, Just wanted
And
to
then that Luke kid is stealing bags left and right.
Yeah, he's a legit prospect, Keishel.
Yeah.
In a good spot, obviously. Colorado taking on KC, Lorenzen, Herman Marquez. The Rockies outside of Coors. They are disastrous as is, and even worse in KC. Again, Roth will be on in about 10, 15 minutes or so. Give you some clarity. Last we saw, it's yellow-orange in KC. We're just going to assume the game plays. Where do you have the Royals and the Rockies?
Look, first of all, does Kansas City chalk ever get there?
No.
Ever. How long till can you remember that when they've ever gotten there?
Yeah.
I can't remember it. I know I've played it every freaking time they've ever been chalk. I know that.
India stinks. I was talking about this. India's not good. Like, Witt's great, and I like Sal Perez, and Vinny gets there sometimes. Biggio, like a pinch hit guy. There's a lot of pinch hit nonsense in this team as well. Devin says last season it happened. Apparently it happened once last year. Yeah. I don't like them when they're super chalky. I ended up being under the field yesterday. It's not a victory lap. It's just I kind of looked at their team and I'm like, these guys just kind of stink.
I mean, it was Tortellini Tuesday.
Well, what's today?
The awful Prince Spaghetti Day. Remember that? It's like
we
yesterday.
Marquez.
I played Vinny P everywhere, and didn't work.
Yeah,
but Bobby Witt gets there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna put them in the right next to LA in the ribeye because it's Colorado. It's Marquez, who's just been an absolute shell of himself, has nothing that's working. So I think he should get beat up, and their bullpen stinks. But
Shannon's asking if you could play Herman Marquez. Like, are the Royals that bad?
I mean, the problem is Herman Marquez has been that bad.
Yeah, who's worse at their job?
I used to love. I mean, he's down to he used to be an electric strikeout pitcher. He's after 4 starts.
Injuries.
Yeah. After 4 starts, he's got a 14% K rate, 14.3% K rate.
Is that bad?
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, a sweaty Shavelson could probably get
8.9% versus lefties last 30 days.
Ridiculous.
441 WOBA, 324 ISO. It's only 45, batted balls, right? 45 at bats. But man, it's been rough. Like, and then do you roster Biggio against them because he's terrible too? But Vinny P, in theory, this is the spot. I don't know.
Wow, 2.2K Biggio.
But he's another guy that gets the hook, if the situation calls for it. And he's already 0 for 2 or for 3, and he's kind of stinks. But there you go. That's not a Craig Biggio stepping into the box.
I thought it was. I used to think they were so fun. The Blue Jays the first year with all of them when they were like all
Vladdy, Bichette, and Biggio.
Yeah, and they were all exciting. Like Biggio was holding his own.
Conine's kid was in the system as well. The guy that's in the Marlins now.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of the kids. All right, so you got the Rockies in the gutter, KC and ribeye. We have to pick up the pace a little bit because crunch time's coming in about 12-ish minutes. Revenge game for Andrew Heaney. Andrew Heaney, the Pirates in LA, taking on the Angels. Again, Heaney throwing baseballs against Jack Kohanowitz. A lot of righty power here. Taking on Heaney, that is his vulnerability. Trout, Ward, Darno, Soler, throwing a lot of righties here at Heaney. And the Pirates lineup's not out just yet, but they kind of got there last night to some degree. But it's tough to play Pirates because it's O'Neill, Cruz, Reynolds, and kind of a bunch of dudes. Where do you have Pittsburgh and LA?
So regarding Heaney, he's coming in with good metrics at least. The thing that's helping him the most is that his walks are down, and that used to be like his biggest problem. Also, he doesn't strike people out as much as he used to, so that's a problem. But I'm on Team Heaney side in this one. I'm probably going to fade the Angels. And but I see the upside with the Angels. Like, if Trout Trout's doing only one. Like Trout isn't hitting. He's batting like in the 100, like a average. He's like 100 and something average.
He's hitting homers.
Yeah, he's hitting homers. He's hitting dingers. So
177.
They're moving Soler up to the leadoff spot, trying something new tonight. Taylor Ward. Yeah, I mean, you have to. There's upside here, so you have to, especially against the Pirates bullpen. So put them right under Filet or New York Strip.
That's the Angels. Where are the Pirates? Yeah, Matt says. I was watching that game. They had 18 hits, 15 singles. Like, what are we gonna do with that? I need homers. I mean, for fantasy purposes. Like, good for them for 18 hits. That's not something that's really gonna get you home. A bunch of singles. I think somebody homered. Was it McCutchen? McCutchen might have homered last night.
McCutchen definitely homered last night. It was served him. All they had to do was wait for the fastball because he got Soriano had absolutely no command. He could only throw one pitch, and it was his fastball. And so they just all sat fat. He couldn't throw a strike. Any of his breaking stuff could not throw it for a strike. So they just sat there and just bing, bang, bing, bang.
We're not afraid of a Kahanowitz, but where do we have this? It's another one like where the Kahanowitz is not great, but the Pirates are not great.
Yeah.
Mini.
I think Kahanowitz is going to be better. But so I'm not buying all of his numbers right now. So leave Pitt. That's a good spot for Pitt down in flank.
All right, producer Steve's doing a good job throwing Pittsburgh and flank.
I'm like wondering if it's TJ back there today.
No. Oh, that's kind of an insult because you're basically saying TJ is better at the game, and Steve's just like on performance enhancers or something like that today. All right.
Maybe TJ just gets me for some reason.
The Rays in Arizona, 9 is the total. Arizona close, hovering around a 5 total. No lineup just yet for Tampa, but Tampa tends to do, their platoon stuff. So we're going to imagine most of their lefties are sitting. Chandler Simpson, we are projecting him batting in the 9 hole. I'm not sure if you've seen him just yet, but he's fun. I want to see him stick because he's fun. But left on left. But again, he will swipe some bases if he gets on. And I think I'm going to look this up as I throw it to you. I'm pretty sure Erod's one of those lefties that you can steal on. Where do you have the Rays and the D-backs?
Oh boy. Well, I have the Rays down low because although there is power there for sure. Do we have a lineup yet?
Not for Tampa.
No. But I would throw Tampa down just because with the pitch hit stuff with Erod, I'm not a big fan. And I'm not a fan of going against Taj too much, but you have to recognize the upside of the Diamondbacks. So I'll put them right in the middle with the New York Strip Filet. I mean, you could go even higher, but it's Taj. But the fact that they run the bases is just so nice to have those outs, stolen base outs.
Erod 3 stolen bases this year, 22 innings, 2 last year and 50, 10 the year before, 152. So nothing like an outlier, but he'll give up a stolen base for sure if it's there for the taking. Simpson, if he gets on base, you do know he's going to go. All right, 2 more games. 1 in San Fran, 6.5 total. 6.5. That is paltry. Logan Webb, we talked about him as one of our favorite pitchers taking the bump, and Freddie Peralta on the other side. 2 of the better pitchers on the board in general. No Milwaukee lineup just yet. We did get the Giants. Willie Adames, by the way, not vengeful. I think he's been terrible so far in this series against his former team. For what it's worth, nothing. It's worth nothing. Where do we have the Giants and the Brewers?
So the Brewers, again, I don't see them going off against Logan Webb. So I will put them. Yeah, just because they shouldn't have to be in the same category with the Sox or the Rockies. San Fran, yeah, you're right, Steve. Good job. Put them right in the Filet New York Strip because Peralta could be wild potentially. You think right when you think he's got things fixed, he goes out and he shows you that it's still in there. So he can really struggle with his command, but when he's on, the strikeouts can pile up, and it's tough to do a lot of damage. So right there's fine in the middle.
This season, Peralta, let's see, pulling up the stats, Peralta this year is 28.9% as far as the case. The walks, like you said, they're kind of teetering. 7.9%. It's not like, full on alarm, but I'd like a little bit more control than 7.9% walks. Last game on the night is Texas taking on the Athletics. No Texas lineup just yet. A lefty starting in Sears. So right there, you're going to get something different. We're assuming it's Pilar in there for Jock Jams. Jock Peterson, I think it's an 0 for 40 funk. It has been a full-on disaster to start the year. Possibly comes off the bench, but almost definitely not starting tonight. And also almost definitely not starting tonight. Maybe he's officially already ruled out. Seager left last night's game with, I believe it was a hammy. We did see a revenge homer out of Marcus Semien, who's been pretty terrible so far to start the season.
Yeah, it was more like it was also too like you moved me down in the lineup, and it like worked.
Well, rightfully so. Like they should bet him ninth the way he's been hitting so far. Well, he's got a hit in front of Peterson, I suppose, but he's been bad also. And it might be over for him. Maybe not. I don't want to hit the alarm just yet, but he's getting up there in age as well. I like Texas though, taking on Sears. Sears has got the biggest fly ball lean, dating back to last season. Well, dating back to last season, I think Gusto's got a small sample, and Peralta, a big fly ball as well. No, that's this year. But dating back to last season, I believe he's got the biggest number as far as fly balls on the board. I'm not going to count Gusto in a small sample, but love the fly balls here in Sacramento with this Texas offense. Your thoughts, Texas and Athletics?
Texas is hot right now. So hot right now. Langford is an awesome play. Josh Smith is a great play. Dallas, the Cuban Missile is a juggalo bomb of the night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do we have the graphic?
Probably not.
Steve's got it. He's on top of it. He's
spinning plates. Here we go. I like the one with Dave better at our the time we were at the gathering together. Yeah.
What do you remember about that day? Because I'm sure you've had a lot of.
Dave can takes a lot of shots. He can really hold. He can hold. I was surprised at how he could hold his leg.
Dave in the chat said it was great times. For sure. You couldn't think of anything. You couldn't make up one anecdote. You got just all right. Fair enough. Where are we putting the Athletics? I don't see him on the board.
I want them both in the ball's flying out there. Both of these guys can be. Kumar is definitely in for a different matchup this time with a bunch of power lefties. So I like both of these. I like both of these sides. So this is the perfect game stack for Dave. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like the A side, I don't think, after reading his article today. But I do. I like both.
I like both, but I think I like Texas a little bit more, and they're really cheap too.
Yeah, but I couldn't just leave the Red Sox. It's like too much of a homer board if I go out of here without having people next to the Red Sox up there.
Yeah. Well, Boston probably deserves that spot as well. Again, reminder, FanDuel only. That is on FanDuel only. DK starts at 7:00, exactly 7:00, with the Dodgers and the Cubs. Again, that must be an Apple TV game, I imagine. Maybe it's an ESPN game at 7:00 first pitch. You don't see that very often. Baltimore, Washington starting 15 minutes earlier, as well as Seattle and Boston exclusively on FanDuel. Let's give a recap of the board. I know Crunch Time's working their way in here slowly. Chief meteorologist Kevin Roth, Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood. We have Neil Orfield as well. So 3 individual $1 million victories amongst that group. I'll let you sort who got what. Maybe Roth won a couple million. Who knows? All right. So number 1 on the board, your category was types of steak.
Prime rib. A nice steakhouse.
You got the qualifier. Prime rib number 1, ribeye number 2. In prime rib was Boston, Texas, and the Athletics. Ribeye, Baltimore, Washington, the Cubbies, the Dodgers, KC. In the middle, New York strip and filet. You got Seattle, Toronto, Minnesota, the Angels, Arizona, San Fran. Hanging out with flank steak. The 4th tier is Pittsburgh, Houston, Tampa, Milwaukee, and always in the gutter. I mean, this is like we might as well just name the 5th category like in honor of the Rockies and the White Sox. They seem to always be down there unless you're playing the, leverage. That's where they reside. That's where they hang out. You gave out one Juggalo bomb. You got anything else in the arsenal for the people as far as hot takes, as far as homers, player props, sides, totals? What do you got for the people?
No, go back to Tommy Edman again.
You're picking Tommy Edman for a homer today?
Yeah, that'll be another day, another homer for Tommy Edman.
You said, by the way, you said earlier we're running out of categories. Whatever. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But if you want to, let me know. Like if you're watching in chat, it's like these guys should rank this. Let me know, and maybe we'll make it work. Tweet at me or something. We'll figure it out one of these days, and we'll make a board specially for you. I know we got
custom boards for our chat members.
It makes sense.
Juggalo Nation should be all over this. So,
well, one of these days,
Juggalo Nation will bring a lot of ideas to the table.
I want you to rank your favorite. I know it's tough. Your favorite ICP songs, or just your top 5.
I don't want to. First of all, I can't. I'll do it around serious people. That's something that we'll do amongst my fellow.
I'm not a serious person.
No, you don't know You don't know the music like we do.
I want to learn it. Help guide me.
If you want, DM me. I'll give you a playlist. I'll tell you what to start. Blow your mind.
Rank shrimp dishes, like
you know what, Dave should do an acoustic version actually for the end of the year show this year.
He doesn't know any of the song. He doesn't remember. He doesn't.
He should learn one because I'm sure he listens to it now when he's at home.
Why are you giving him homework? He's got things to do. He's busy writing the musings.
yeah. Honestly, writing the musings must take so much time. Even that, like I know he must be so efficient at it and have like all his things, but like. It still must take a ton of time.
Butto says best Faygo flavors, which I feel like I had that as a child, but I don't remember the last time. Is that still something that's on the market that's available?
Oh yeah, Faygo, yeah.
Maybe in the Midwest? Is it available down here? Not sure. Anyways, let's do it. Let's go ahead and bring in Crunch Time. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth. Neil apparently is a juggalo as well. I was not aware. And Dave Potts, soon to be performing his favorite ICP songs on Crunch Time or somewhere at a theater near you. It's Crunch Time right now. Let's do it. Kevin Roth. Roth, are you concerned? Did you watch the Lightning, your Lightning, which the team you probably didn't watch one game the entire season, but my Panthers took them down last night. We have our wager in play.
$50 and a movie. Yeah, not a good start for me. Not a great start for the Lightning. I watched like half the game and then I got disheartened and turned it off.
I don't know what I mean. I'm not getting what do they say, the horse and the cart. I don't want to say it's over just yet, but I'm trying to think if I should be kind, or if, should I have you watch a really good movie for whatever reason you never seen, or have you watched 80 for Brady?
Just a reminder, I was going to have you watch a good movie. It was going to be like an animated movie, but it was going to be good. I was not going to be mean. So do not make me watch something shit, please.
Roth, I got an all-in play for you tonight.
Oh, let's hear it.
You're going to like to hear this.
Yeah.
The Rockets are an absolute mortal stone lock.
Absolute lock. There's no doubt. They are going to physically dominate to a level that has not been seen.
Ime is going to have them so fired up to play some physical. Plus, the refs aren't calling anything right now in this play. Like they've really stepped up. This is a bet your mortgage, bet your kids.
He's kidding. He's kidding. To be clear, he's joking.
I know. Where's the disclaimer?
Yeah, hit the disclaimer button. No, I fully agree. I think the Rockets win handily tonight.
You're laying the 4, Kirkwood?
I'll probably do money line because I get scared about
Well, you gave that whole thing like mortal lock, and now they can't.
All right,
they're gonna win for sure, but no way they win by 4.
No, they're gonna win for sure. However that happens.
All right, well, we'll see.
I'll probably take both actually.
Neil, were you you're a secret juggalo? I wasn't aware of this. So you're just gonna play along in the bit.
As long as there are absolutely zero follow-up questions. Yeah, I'm a huge juggalo.
You know what? We
respect that. Bit. There's no bit.
Yeah.
What do you mean play on with a bit? There's no bit.
It's insulting. That's what that is. That's insulting. And we're gonna leave you alone. We're gonna accept you with open arms, Neil. Regardless.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We're gonna respect your privacy, so we won't do any follow-up questions.
Thank you.
Jason Tatum officially out, by the way, for Boston tonight, which is not a surprise. He was doubtful all day long.
Does it matter?
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Like if it was a game 7 in the finals, he's playing, that kind of thing. Like it's not, I think you're just giving him a day or maybe 2, depending on, because, the Magic are probably not going to beat them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're watching Memphis and OKC, but OKC can rest their first 5 and still probably win that series. Roth, the people want to hear what's going on weather-wise with KC. That is important. FanDuel slate also starts in a half hour. DK starts in 45 minutes. But myself and Kirkwood, we're going to step aside and get out of here, make way for crunch time. Do hit that like button, do subscribe. Don't go anywhere. You got 45 minutes of MLB DFS conversation right now. That's all yours, Roth.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it. Ladies and gents, you know the drill. It's crunch time. It's 2 of the sharpest minds in the biz. I got my guy Neil repping the flannel in the dark colors here. In the dark, you may not have a light on in your room. What's up, man?
I got a
natural
ring
light.
light
You lean
right
forward.
here.
I
got
could see
tons of
it
light
there.
here.
There you go.
Yeah, doing
How are you, man?
This is my first show with Cheese. I feel like every week it's a new person that I'm doing my first show with at RotoGrinders. So very fun to get to do shows with all the OGs. Yeah, excited to be here.
Cheese, do you own a flannel?
Absolutely not. Like I cannot pull that off. There's some things I just can't do. I just want to point out. So yeah, first of all, Neil. Yeah, hello. How's it going? We've never even met before. I started watching you in football season, so this is fun. He's got Kevin will know exactly what I'm talking about from last week. Like he's very much got the Tim thing going on. Where not only does he look cool, like the beard match with the shirt is unbelievable. Like they could have come together at the store
because the beard is kind of checkered. Unintentional.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't even know. I don't even really want to talk about baseball.
It's a good look. Very masculine. Yeah, 10 out of 10 man vibes coming out of that corner. Cheese and I cannot compete. Cheese, how you feeling about the slate?
Pretty good. Yeah, there's kind of a lot of everything. We should mention, like, right off the top here, like, I think we'll probably get through position by position before FanDuel locks. FanDuel locks 15 minutes before DK. And it's a wildly different slate on the hitting side, even though it's only 2 games. So just keep this in mind. If you're playing both sites, like you want a lot of your bats in those first 2 games that lock in about 30 minutes on FanDuel.
Okay, but we're still going to go through it.
Yeah, I think we'll get through the end of position by position before FanDuel locks. But just keep that in mind. And if you come up with a FanDuel question early, like keep an eye out for those in the Discord if someone has a FanDuel question quicker.
Okay, very good. Good notes. Shout out to It's Me Breezy who says, "Hey Roth, I hit the like button just for your Kansas City weather updates." Well, you're probably about to take it back because my update is, I don't know. I think the game is still an hour and a half out, right? Which is a long time as far as just looking at actual live radar. I feel pretty confident it's going to rain in Kansas City. I don't quite know the extent, if it's going to be too heavy to play through, if they're going to pause and then play, if they're going to late start. I don't know what's going to happen in Kansas City. I think I will have a pretty good idea before first pitch, which is useful, but not as useful as knowing before lock. I realize that, but that's just the truth of the matter. I have increased the risk somewhat, and I think there's still room up in the risk category. I've got it as yellow-orange right now. I think I'll have a pretty good idea before before first pitch, but not before lock. And that's just where I stand. If something suddenly comes to me in the next 30 minutes or whatever, I will let you know. But as of now, I do not know the outcome of that game. I think one way or another they play. They play through light rain or they pause and they play. I think they play one way or another, but I don't know that for certain. And that's what I got.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say a lot of people are going to be playing a pitcher in that game. I'm not one of them, but a lot of people will. And actually, the one pitcher I have in one lineup is not the one everyone else is playing. But yeah, so if you're playing Michael Lorenzen, that's who we're talking about. There are 4 games after that. The only pitcher who you might play who's just straight up cheaper that you could pivot to is Rocker. Or if you don't like Rocker, which I do, but if you don't, you would want to leave salary to be able to swap up to like Erod or higher. But we do have 4 games after that. If you tell us like right before lock that there's a problem.
Yeah. Which certainly could happen. But okay, that's good to know. Those are your pivot options. That's where I stand. Again, I will update you before lock, though I don't think I'm going to have any like brilliant takes by then, but hopefully before first pitch, I will have a better idea. Okay, let's dive into it here. With that out of the way, let's talk about pitchers. Cheese, you mentioned one pitcher already. Let's get into a few more.
So I think the chalk up top is Logan Webb. with Freddie Peralta on the other side of that game being kind of the pivot with plenty of upside. I'm on board with the field and Logan Webb. He's definitely a better real life pitcher than Peralta. I don't really think these newfound strikeouts are all that real, but it doesn't really matter. Like when I say that, I mean he has 2 double-digit strikeouts games in 4 starts this year. Let's assume that's not real. But even without it, he's still my top guy. And then the next little conversation is David Festa versus Eduardo Rodriguez. They're about $1,000 cheaper on DK, and even more cheaper on FanDuel. As much as I love the matchup for Festa, I slightly prefer Erod ahead of him. Just give me the guy that I know is not going to get pulled at 75 pitches if he gives up 1 hit. And then I'll go to FanDuel in a second. But basically, Webb and Peralta up here, and Festa and Erod just about $1,000 less. I don't have any Taj Bradley. He's fine too. I don't have any Matthew Boyd. I've got like 1 Andrew Heaney. But then essentially you're deciding between what might be a moderately chalky Michael Lorenzen because he's facing the Rockies, Bowden Francis for a few dollars more, or Kumar Rocker a few dollars less. Personally, I like Francis and Rocker, and I do not like Lorenzen. Like, I understand it. He's facing the Rockies. You could play me against the Rockies. It's fine. I would rather not play a bad pitcher who's borderline chalk in any matchup. So I'm out on Lorenzen. Kumar Rocker is total wild card. Like, we have no idea yet who he really is. He looked like who I thought he was going to be in his last start, and who I think he's going to be is freaking amazing. But 3 starts before that, he was nothing. So I don't know. I think he's worth the shot right now. So that my pool on DK, Logan Webb up top, a split of Festa and Erod below that, and then Francis and Rocker. That's like 90% of my pool. On the FanDuel side, Webb is 10-8, and Festa is only 84, and Francis is only 87. So I'm about evenly split between those. I don't think Webb will be as chalky, nor does he need to be. And same thing there. I feel like Eduardo Rodriguez gets lost in the shuffle a little bit, kind of no man's land pricing. So I actually have more of him than anyone. Not that he's like my favorite, but I think he's the guy who gets overlooked, and it's just easier to fit than Webb or Peralta. Okay, very good. Neil, you got some thoughts pitcher wise?
Yeah, and I'm running a new I keep calling it a crunch. I don't know what you call it when you're using lineup HQ, but I'm running a new set of lineups as we speak. So okay, we're done. So my top exposed pitchers.
You're bedazzling it again. We would like to.
We need some branding. We can't be calling it a crunch because that's a whole nother company sting. So we need some branding for that. We're going to put our best minds on it. And by that, I mean you in the chat. You are our best minds. Let us know what we should call it when we're refreshing and rerunning our lineups in Lineup HQ.
Love it. Yeah. On DraftKings, I have David Festa at the top for me. Just love the strikeout stuff. The strikeouts have been there for him. Also, just a fantastic matchup with the White Sox. They have been striking out like crazy all year. They're 26% strikeout rate in finding plate IQ. They've been striking out a ton against right-handed pitchers. So I love Festa tonight, and he's only 8,800, which my biggest concern there is he has only he pitched 76 pitches the last game, 64 the game before that. So I don't know if they're going to if they let him get in the 90s in terms of a pitch count. But I think as long as he's in there, if he can get into like the 5th, 6th inning, I think he's got major strikeout upside. So David Festa I like quite a bit. Logan Webb looks great. They are my top 2, the only 2 who are hitting my cap in terms of where I set my cap for pitchers. Getting to a lot of Lorenzen, Freddie Peralta right there. So a lot of the same pitchers. I'm kind of curious about Rocker also. I was kind of contemplating what to do there with Rocker, because one of my biggest stances that I've been taking consistently is I think that the Sutter Health Park is a major hitter's park. So I'm like so I've been like just jamming the bats there. But I also know that the A's are just not. They've been pretty bad. They've been bad at home. They're averaging 3.8 runs at home per game, while their opponents are averaging 7 runs per game at home. So they have not figured out how to take advantage of their park. Now they're facing a big unknown at pitcher. So I do think that Rocker, I like that call. I actually gave him a pretty big boost in projection to make sure I get some. Well, obviously not when I'm playing A's in my lineups, but in my non-A's lineups, I do like the idea of also playing a lot of Rocker there.
Okay, good stuff. Do you want to give out some names that the chat has recommended here instead of calling it a crunch? Derek says, I need to flantasticate, which is a flannel pun, which I enjoyed. But then also, I think the one that really makes sense is regrind. I've got to regrind my lineups. It's RotoGrinders branding.
Yeah.
You know, not recrunching, we're regrinding.
Love it.
I think that may be a win. And now it's just on you to change what you've been saying for like 10 years or however long you've been doing it into regrind. But I like that. We're going to make that a thing. Okay, let's talk about some of the bats and some of the stacks. We've gone through pitchers. Neil, you can lead us off in that department. Who do you like hitting wise?
Are we doing position by position? Like how
no, let's just focus on stacks and then we'll go around the horn. So as you're trying to take down a GPP, what stacks are you most attracted to?
Yeah, so I already mentioned, I really think that Sutter Health Park is, and I read before the season that it was the same dimensions as the Coliseum. And so a lot of people thought this is going to be a big pitcher's park. That has not been the case so far this year. Again, opponents are scoring 7 runs per game there so far this year in 10 games so far there. But it kind of seems like it is going to be a major hitter's park. I actually asked Justin Steele about it after he pitched there, and he thought they were going to score more runs in that stadium than Coors Field this year, which is sort of insane.
Name drop. Roth wants to ask about the name drop.
To be clear, I know one professional athlete, and that he happens to be a big fantasy football fan. So I talked to him. I talked to him after his start there. I don't have a lot of athletes that I talk to, but he's the one that I talked to, and he happened to pitch there on the day that I told him, I was like, I'm writing things up for tomorrow, by the way, and for RotoGrinders, and I was saying, I think that this is going to be a major hitter's park. Like everything I've seen outside of the dimensions supposedly being the same as the Coliseum, everything I'm seeing is suggesting that this is going to be a major hitter's park. And he was like sort of taken aback when I said that the dimensions are supposed to be the same. He's like, I don't think they're the same dimensions at all as Oakland Coliseum. And just watching the games, it looks like it is a minor league ballpark. So to me, I think that it's just one that I'm going to continue attacking bats until like we have enough of a sample size to really know. Like at some point.
Before we move on to other teams, can we get him on crunch time to help break down a lineup?
He would lose his job, so maybe not. Maybe for another sport.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he probably likes us that much.
Yeah.
He has been in the Flannelverse a few times to talk football, but yeah, he would not talk baseball.
Nice. All right.
Ask him for football crunch time for sure.
Yeah. I will have to get my best friend Eric Gordon on the show to talk baseball.
That's true. We just know a lot of professional athletes around here.
No big deal. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, other teams that you like?
So yeah, A's. So the A's, I think, are really interesting. I also think they have a lot of really strong bats. They just added Nick Kurtz today. Also, their top prospect is joining for the first time. He is in, I think, the 7 hole, so not the best hitting spot, but maybe bolsters the lineup as a whole. I don't love that you both he and Tyler Soderstrom, who I really like. Tyler Soderstrom is going to be one of my favorite bats tonight in general. But I love Lawrence Butler, Tyler Soderstrom. You can obviously play Rooker. I think that they have several strong bats on the A's side. And the reason I'm bringing them up before I bring up Texas is the A's lineup is projected for sub 4% ownership. And I just think that this is one of those spots that I'm willing to just shove my chips in and play. And I don't usually do that in MLB. I'm usually pretty evenly spread out. This year I've been doing it more where I do when I think there is a big edge somewhere, I'm willing to push my chips in. I think this is one of the spots where I think that they can put up a ton of runs here. I think they have a really strong lineup. I don't love that you can't play both Soderstrom and Kurtz in the same lineup. That's the one thing that is kind of holding me back a little bit. But I'm going to have a ton of the A's. But again, I like the other side. Also, the Rangers getting significantly more ownership. And I will say, like, Vegas seems to have kind of caught on that this is playing like a hitter's park. So the game does have a pretty high total, and as a result, Texas looking really good here. But I will play them also. I think the Rangers are a very strong stack as well. And then from there, it is my Twins. I'm certainly willing to go to my Twins tonight. Obviously not the great park that you want to play, but the matchup is pretty nice for the Twins with Bryce Wilson. Really like Edward Julian at the top of the lineup. Byron Buxton, love Keyshaw, Trevor Larnach batting fourth. Clean up, and he's got the left-right split. I think the Twins look like a very strong lineup here. Kansas City. Now I saw that there were some weather concerns. How I know you were talking about that earlier, right, Roth?
Yeah, the truth, I don't know. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I've got for you all right now.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
Hope to know before first pitch.
They look like a strong stack. I don't think I have any other like super contrarians. I think Tampa Bay looks pretty interesting to me. I'll be playing some of the Tampa Bay bats. I like Yandy Diaz. I think I put him as my my sneaky home run call of the day. But yeah, those are kind of the biggest angle I'm playing. Is I'm going to be playing a ton of the bats in not Oakland. I guess it's Sacramento, right? I'll be playing a lot of the bats in the Oakland home stadium on both Texas and Oakland, and then I'll be but I'm still not going to have like 80% of these bats, so I'll be pretty spread out elsewhere.
Okay, good stuff. Cheese, your favorite stacks, and maybe it's different. FanDuel, DK, you get
mostly
teams.
all I want to add to what he said is on FanDuel, I think the Orioles and the Red Sox are the top two stacks. Like very loaded up there. And I really like the Mariners and the Nationals. Like I could make a case to put the four teams on the FanDuel slate 1, 2, 3, and 4 overall. I mean, I don't actually quite have the Nationals and Mariners ahead of like Texas, but essentially different build. And Baltimore and Boston in particular, I think, are clearly the top stacks on FanDuel. Also, I love Texas. I think they will be chalky, though. Also playing the Twins, and then Cubs and Dodgers. Play the Cubs and the Dodgers every day. I don't even know why we're trying not to. Like, people jump through so many hoops to come up with reasons not to play the Cubs, and they've scored like 9,000 runs in however long we've been playing. Just play the Cubs again.
Yeah, good weather, bad weather, they just score runs.
Does not matter.
Yeah, they get it done. Even some of those, like, you're not going to hit home runs in this kind of weather games, they still get a bunch of runs. I'm like, damn,
they score like at least 11 runs when the wind's blowing in.
They've really done pretty impressive. Okay, we need to go around the horn because you mentioned FanDuel locks in 12 minutes, correct, Cheese? So
yeah,
let's do it. Start me off at the catcher position, which you don't know.
So catcher, starting right on FanDuel, Cal Raleigh and Adley Rutschman are among the best first basemen on the slate. Play catchers, those goes on FanDuel. On DK, so my ridiculous stance on the slate is I have a lot of Rockies. Not necessarily a ton of full stacks, but a lot of Hunter Goodman.
That's the bad weather game, right?
Catcher. That's So, but again, we got 4 games after that, so it's no problem at all to pivot if that ends up getting worse. I like Ryan Jeffers, a very good bit. And that's it. I don't like catcher today, which is why I'm happy just playing Hunter Goodman. I don't even mind punting, which, you could play Travis d'Arnaud or even Quiro for the White Sox, just because he's hitting cleanup in his 2,600. It's a bad day for catcher.
Yeah. Okay. Neil, your thoughts?
At catcher specifically?
Yeah.
Hang on one second.
All right.
Jonah Heim. I'm getting to a lot of, my top 2 catchers are from the game that I'm stacking up. Jonah Heim, Shea Langoliers are my top 2. Travis d'Arnaud, just always a strong bat here. In the got the righty lefty split there. Sal Perez looks good to me again. Love it when you can get a catcher batting cleanup. Looks good. Higashioka, Danny Jansen at the top here. Those are my top. And I guess Higashioka, those 5 at the top are the 5 that I'm getting double-digit exposure to. Jonah Heim, Shea Langoliers, Travis d'Arnaud, Sal Perez, and Higashioka. And usually my catchers are going to be played in my stacks. A lot of the time they're going to be with my primary stack.
Sure.
I do like Ryan Jeffers a little bit, just again because I like that stack. But yeah, those are kind of the only catches I have a real stance on.
Okay, Neil, how about first base? Will you walk me through there?
Yes, first base I have 40% Tyler Soderstrom, and this is one that I also was looking at it closely because I was like, his stats are way better on the road than at home, and I just think there's no way that's going to hold up. So he has 7 home runs on the road so far this year, just 2 at home. I've watched a lot of these games in Oakland just because I'm kind of fascinated by these minor league ballparks, and he is just constantly hitting it to the tracks or just a lot of bad luck. And he has like a just over 100 BABIP so far on the year at home, and it's like 385 on the road. So I think positive regression is coming for Tyler Soderstrom, and he's coming in at really low ownership because, again, he has not been good at home. I think that's going to flip at some point. So I love Soderstrom tonight. Now, we don't know how good Rocker is. Maybe he's going to surprise us and all of my bats are going to fall flat. But Soderstrom is my highest exposed first baseman, followed by Jake Berger and Josh Smith, both from Texas. Then we've got Yandy Diaz, who, like I said, I think he was my home run call, my off the radar home run call. Now, not extremely likely to hit a home run, but love the matchup there. Nick Kurtz, again, from that Athletics game, Sal Perez, and then, yeah, that's it as far as double digits for me.
Okay, Cheese, your thoughts at first.
Yeah, I've not watched a lot of A's games because they start when I go to bed. But good for you. Let me know how that works out. I wake up and check the score. For the salary, like Jake Berger is just silly cheap. And he's definitely my highest owned guy on DraftKings by a lot, just because of the salary, not because he can't miss, but he's too cheap. And then, like, I don't know. I don't love anything at this position. Like, the spend-up guys are fine. Like, I do like Soderstrom. I like Vlad. Like, you can always play Ohtani, but I don't know. It's just kind of meh. Only slightly better than Jake Berger and Vinny Pasquantino. So I'm usually saving money at first base on the DK side. And on FanDuel, again, I'm really playing catchers there. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, go to second base.
Okay, second base is like in cash games, Marcus Semien is the guy. In tournaments, I prefer Luke Keeschel over him. Unless you're stacking, play the guy in your stack. But this Keeschel guy is for real. Tommy Edman, he's not this good, but he's good. You can't fake what he's doing. Like I'm on board. And then this position also really dies out quick. I don't mind random cheap guys in the stack, but like there's nothing worth spending up on because it's not good. Unless you count on FanDuel, you can play Mookie Betts here, which is fine. But I can't make any real case to spend up at second base, which is why I'm fine with Semien in cash games and Keeschel in tournaments.
Okay. Neil, your thoughts second?
Yeah, I've got a ton of Marcus Semien. Saw him move back down to the order. I think Underdog announced that it was like the first time that he has batted below third in the lineup yesterday. I just knew when they moved him down the lineup, this is when players seem to always hit home runs. Sure enough, Marcus Semien did. I think it looks great once again. Only 3,000. Luis Urias is just 2,500. Again, going to be in a lot of my stacks. He is in the 9 hole, so don't love that. But yeah, 2,500. I'll take that. Edward Julian looks great. 3,100. First in the order, looks great. Has the lefty righty split as well. Michael Garcia. That's it for me as far as double digits goes. I do like Keeschel a little bit. Nobody else I'm getting to a ton of.
Okay, then we get to go to third base.
Yeah, third base. Josh Young. Is it Young? How do you pronounce this?
Young, but I like your semi-soft /
like
hard
halfway.
J that you just did. That was amazing.
Young, I like that. Yeah, the J and the Y all at once.
Yeah. Josh Smith second. Yandy Diaz again. Luis Urias. So a lot of the same players are can play multiple positions. Michael Garcia. That's it for me as far as double digits goes.
Okay, Cheese, your thoughts at third?
Another not really that deep of a position on FanDuel. Devers is the top guy, and I didn't mention Dylan Moore at second. I think he's probably better at second on FanDuel, but so that's a little different there with those two. And then on the DK side, Josh Young for 3,400. I do think like Texas is going to be chalkier than we want them to be because of the salaries. Like the top Oakland bats are way more expensive than the Texas bats. Therefore, Texas is chalky. I don't even think people necessarily like Texas better. It's just the salaries. Like you can play whatever you want with these Texas bats. So be cautious about just playing them if everything's chalky, but these are good plays. I mentioned I'm playing a weird amount of Rockies. Any Rockies is a weird amount of Rockies, but because third base is weak, I'm playing Ryan McMahon a pretty good amount. And then it's just dead. Like I've got some Brooks Lee. So I'm playing any Twins bat, but there's nothing to like. You can't even spend up if you want. The most expensive batter is 4,500. Like we just don't have anything.
But it is my friend Eugenio Suarez who always hits a bomb.
Yeah. And he's actually fine. I do like Arizona for some sneaky power.
Yeah.
I don't know if it counts as sneaky if they're just good, but
yeah. How about shortstop, Cheese?
Okay. FanDuel, Gunnar Henderson. Done. Bobby Witt is always the best play, and you do have money because of all these cheap bats everywhere else. So I have a lot of Bobby Witt and Mookie Betts, even though I don't love them as much as I always love them. And one of the problems with the Bobby Witt thing is there is no direct pivot if that game gets worse before lock. Like you would have to totally redo your whole lineup to use that salary. Personally, I don't care. I'm just going to play it like that game's going to play, and you're going to come 5 minutes before lock and say, "We're good, guys. We're good."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if not, I'll just rework other parts of my lineup. After Witt and Betts, Carlos Correa is my favorite guy. I've got a little Zach Neto, and then again, like a cheap Brooks Lee is fine. There's just not much here.
Yeah. Okay, Neil, your thoughts at short?
Yeah, I like Jacob Wilson quite a bit. Doesn't really walk, doesn't really strike out, just always getting the ball in play. He's only 3,300, sixth in the order. Again, betting on that stack, I like quite a bit. Bobby Witt, for a guy who's 6,100, I'm getting to a ton also. Carlos Correa, again, I like those twin stacks. And that's it for me as far as double digits. I think I do need to force in some more Mookie Betts. I'm actually not getting to a ton, even though I like him enough that I made a pick six, including Mookie Betts. So I think I will have to give a little bit of a bump there. But yeah, nobody else I'm getting to a ton of.
Okay, let's go to the outfield. By the way, we've got about 2-3 minutes here until FanDuel lock.
Oh yeah, I'll get Lawrence Butler. I love at the top of the order for the A's. Wyatt Langford is now batting second. Most likely he batted, at least last night, batted second for the Rangers. Looks great. Brent Rooker, JD today. So a lot, and then Adolis Garcia. So continuing down that game. Byron Buxton, just 4,600, a little bit too cheap. I like quite a bit. Kevin Pillar, Jordan Alvarez. That's it for me as far as double digits.
And I think a couple of those guys, Langford and one of the other ones, were turd bombs, which is Grant Niefer's home run picks. They're turd bombs. Nice. So yeah, you get a little bonus for being a turd bomb. Cheese, your thoughts in the outfield?
So FanDuel wise, Cedric Mullins, one of my favorite plays on the slate. I like Julio Rodriguez and Jaron Duran a lot. So do some FanDuel outfielders there. On the DK side and also on FanDuel, definitely the Texas guys, Langford and Adolis. Chalky, but again, they're just cheap. And you can do whatever you want with the rest of your lineup if you play them, so I'm fine with it. As far as the expensive guys, they're all very close, and none of them are like must plays. Like sometimes we get, I have Tucker first, and then Trout, and then Ohtani, and then Alvarez, and then O'Neal Cruz, and then Rooker. But feel free to mix and match those guys however you want. I don't think you absolutely have to get any of those spend ups, but by all means, have at it. The mid tier is just about as good, I think, with Buxton, Ward, Soler. Lawrence Butler's kind of in between those pricing tiers. And if where I am playing A's, I do prefer the lefties over the righties. Not that I'm not going to play some righties, but I will play Butler ahead of Rooker. Little Teoscar Hernandez as well. And then cheap stuff is, I think, a little better to play elsewhere. But like, I don't mind Trevor Larnach and plenty of other just random cheap stuff, but nothing worth mentioning out loud on purpose.
Okay, good stuff. We want to give the people some home run calls. They're always clamoring for some bombs. That's what people do. They want to bet home runs. It is their favorite thing to do. So I will give you gentlemen a few seconds to think about that. Keep in mind, we are seconds until FanDuel lock.
Gunnar
And
Henderson
I also
just had to get it in before lock.
Okay, that's good. That was good. That was a good time to cut me off. Gunnar Henderson hitting a bomb. I want to make sure everybody's getting the best deal in the industry as well. MLB DFS annual option, $425, but we dropped the price of our Combo Pro product to match the single sport MLB package. So you get more stuff for the same price. Combo Pro 6 months gives you full access to our content, tools, projections for every sport except NASCAR at a cheaper price than the monthly package. You save 35% by choosing 6 month instead of going month by month by month. 35% is a lot of money. So make sure that you are doing that. Okay, let's do some home run calls. Cheese, you can lead us off.
All right. The aforementioned Gunnar Henderson, now locked, but still got it. We will go with pick your Ranger, any Ranger. We'll go Jake Berger for a cheap home run. Mid-tier, we'll go Hunter Goodman, little off the board, and then high-end Kyle Tucker.
Okay. Neil, you got a few names?
Yeah, Tyler Soderstrom, as I mentioned, I think he's only hit 2 at home. That's going to positively regress. Great home run hitter. I think he's due for one tonight. I kind of think Nick Kurtz in his MLB debut has a pretty strong likelihood of hitting one. Also, I think he's a strong bet, although 7th hole, not going to get quite as many at bats. I already mentioned Yandy Diaz was my totally off the wall kind of home run pick for the day. I have no idea what the cutoff is there. I try to go for, I look in lineup HQ. I try to go plus 630 or better is kind of what I go for as far as being off the wall. But
that is a random number to target, plus 630 or better. That's a weird one to have in your head, but that counts.
I would do 632.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
it's a common one. So I don't bet here because I'm in Minnesota where I can't bet. So I didn't really know what is a cutoff. So I just kind of looked through and I was like, this feels like about the right range. So I started going there and I started looking what are other people doing? And that seemed to be about the cutoff for where people are going with there. So
did you research? All right, that works. We approve of that. And we want to answer some questions as well. We also want to make sure you're hitting the thumbs up on YouTube. Keep in mind, you have 2 of the literal sharpest minds in the space walking you through all of this for free. Free 99. That's the price. And it's a good one. So make sure you hit the hit the subscribe for us so we can get this out to more folks. The show has been growing. We've been getting more and more eyeballs, and that's the goal. We want to keep that up, but we need your thumbs ups to make that happen so that we can keep it free for you. Let's see what kind of questions we got. As per usual, I'm going to start things off in the RotoGrinders Discord. It's where the cool kids hang out. That's where Cheese hangs out, right, Cheese? I'm
there right now.
Yeah, you see? You thought I was kidding, but I wasn't. Oh, FanDuel Cash. Should we... let's see. SP2, Cheese. Heaney or Francis? DK single entry.
Slightly into Francis, but I think they're both viable.
Okay. DKGPP. Neil, I'm coming to you. Darno or Kirk?
Darno.
Okay. Cheese, FanDuel single entry. Do you think Webb will come in lower owned than Fiesta? Fiesta.
I do not. I think they'll be the 2 highest owned, but no, I think Webb will be the highest owned.
Okay. And then Tom says, Cheese, could you give me the DK Cash pitchers, please?
The short answer is no, I can't. Because I think most people would say Logan Webb and Michael Lorenzen. I would not play Michael Lorenzen. I think Logan Webb is definitely one of them. I would probably do Webb Festa. I do think some people would tell you Lorenzen. I would not tell you that. So let's just say Webb Festa.
Okay, great. Neil, let's see what we've got here. Scrolling down. DK Cash, if it's not Witt. So what are we talking about? Is that first base? What positions? What is that?
Shortstop.
Sure. Not even close. Not even very close, Kevin. So shortstop, your favorite play, if not Witt, Neil.
Mookie Betts is $200 cheaper, so that would be kind of an easy pivot there. As far as who I am playing, Jacob Wilson is kind of a different tier of player because he's 3,300 batting 6th in the lineup. But I am playing a lot of Jacob Wilson. But yeah, I think Mookie Betts to me would be the clear pivot. I like Bo Bichette kind of at 4,400 as well. But yeah, Mookie Betts, I guess, would be, if I'm giving one answer, that would be my pivot.
Little Mookie Boots. Don Playa says, question for Cheese. DK large field, first base. Can I go with Ta France?
In a twin stack, yes. I really don't like him on his own. But if you've got other twins going on, then yes.
Okay. Jerry says FanDuel Cash pitcher cheese. Why is Moore and Julio chalk in FanDuel Cash? I have a small child coming in. Let me mute.
Like they're just cheap, and Seattle is facing Sean Newcomb in Fenway. Like they were good plays. I did not hear what was the other part of the question other than why are those guys chalk?
No, that was it. That was the whole question.
Okay. Yeah. They were good plays at good prices.
Yeah. Cheese hangs out at a local ice cream shop. Yeah, probably. I won't argue that.
I mean, that's actually the one thing we don't really have here is a great ice cream shop. So I hang out upstairs with ice cream.
Yeah.
It's not a shop.
Yeah. It could be.
I could be. If I was willing to sell it, it would be. Yeah.
I think, and this is just hit me, I think in retirement, you should like soft retire and open Cheese's ice cream.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like the very opposite of retirement, but I do like I do like the idea.
Yeah, it'd be you would just own it. You wouldn't work. You would just hire like some kids, to do it, and you would just be like, I'm gonna take the money and I'm gonna get to eat free ice cream all the time.
Right. That's really the key there.
Yeah, that's the perk. Any love for a pirate stack, Neil? DK Cash. You got any pirates?
DK Cash?
Sorry, DK Stack. He did not say anything about cash. That was me.
Yeah, let me see if there's an easy way to see how much I have of. All right, I don't think I have a ton of pirate stacks, but let me
look in your regrinder at your regrind.
Yeah, regrind it for us.
I'm trying to. I don't see much Pittsburgh here towards the top for me, but let me take a closer look at whether I should have because I'm too focused on playing that A's game. Yeah, I think they look okay. They're not projected for a ton. I don't think it's the worst. I think it looks okay. I mean, I think Pittsburgh is a little bit dangerous there. You can play the top of the lineup there: O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds. Yeah, I don't totally hate it, but no, I don't have much of it.
Yeah. Okay. J3 says, "Are you guys able to shout out Dean?" Sure. What's up, Dean?
What up, Dean? Go
hey,
Dean.
Shout out to Dean.
Dean.
big Dean fans over here. Andrew says, "Hey, do you?" And Neil, I'll give this one to you. Shout out accepted. Great. Do you guys like Webb and Peralta in the same game? Neil, can you play Webb and Peralta in the same game?
I think you can. I don't set any kind of rules like that. Maybe you could dock it a little bit, 2 pitchers in the same game since they can't both get wins. But no, I have no real concerns. It's not something I've ever ruled out having pitchers from the same game.
Yeah,
okay. and they're both good pitchers. So yeah.
Yeah. Cheese, Festa or Peralta?
I mean, if you just don't need the salary, I do prefer Peralta over Festa. I definitely have more Festa because it's $1,000 on DK is relevant and more than that on FanDuel. But straight up, go Peralta.
Okay, we got this question from Alan: Bush and Happ or France and Tucker? DK GPP. Cheese.
Bush and Happ.
Okay. Favorite 5 Rangers. This is kind of a lot, Neil. You got 5 Rangers for me to stack in a DK GPP single entry.
DK GPP, yes, I can do that. It's going to include Simeon. Hang on one second. Yeah, so Simeon, Langford, Adolis Garcia, Jake Berger, and Jonah Heim to get the catcher in there, I suppose.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Let's see. Cheese. Tiny Tim Tawa or Keishel, DKGPP.
Keishel, but I don't mind a little Tawa as well, but I prefer Keishel.
Okay. TJ Moosemanzada. But by the way, I should check our Discord real quick. Cheese, did you yell at Roth for MLB coming around to starting at common times? He did. Congratulations. I often rant about why does baseball start at 7:07? That just started at 7 or 7:15 or 7:30. But today they are actually starting at 7. It is a miracle. And thank you, Cheese, for your amusing shout out about it. I'm a little pleased and I'm a little bummed. I don't have anything to complain about. It's mixed feelings for me. Cheese, Tucker or Otani, DK single entry. Thank you.
Short answer is just yes. I prefer Tucker tonight, but you're really not going wrong ever playing Otani.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I just missed this question. I just scrolled past it. Come back here. Jorge says, is 4 Rangers too many for DK Cash?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Okay. By the way, his last name is Mateo. It could be George Mateo, but I'm assuming it's Jorge Mateo because Mateo is a Spanish last name. Let me know, George or Jorge, which you prefer, and I will sear it right here for next time. 5,400 last spot. Cheese. Outfield, I have Butler and Langford. 5,400 last spot in the outfield. I've got Butler and Langford.
Yeah, so I came to that same sort of realm a bunch of times, and it's like, I don't love, like, you don't even have to spend it if you can rework it. I would play Alvarez there. Alvarez first, Buxton second. I would also be fine going cheaper and moving the money somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Some people asking for a weather update. I think it's going to work out. That's where I stand right now. We are 45 minutes until first pitch. There are these storms just west of Kansas City, and I've been kind of watching their progression. How are they going to move east? And they're really slowing down, and they're not exactly on top of the ballpark as it is, and they're slowing down a lot. I'm hopeful that they fully fade away as they kind of move in, and they are just able to play on time and play through it. A start on time, Cheese, does bring in some delay risk into the game, but as of now, like I don't think it screams early delay incoming. So for now, I think you do whatever you want in Kansas City, but please, please, please circle back 30 minutes from now on my Twitter and make sure that I'm not screaming, scramble button. But I think it's probably going to work pretty good. Let's see. We are 3 minutes until DK lock. Blink says, Cheese, I swore I wouldn't use Simeon again this year after getting a couple zeros early on. Would Sir Cheese approve of me using Josh Young and Luis Urias together instead of Simeon and Urias large field DK tournament?
Well, I prefer Young over Simeon straight up. So yeah.
Great. Very good. Okay. Sharp says, Neil, Miguel Garcia or Young last spot on DK?
I mean, if it doesn't fit your stack at all, or if the stack doesn't come into play, probably Miguel Garcia.
Yeah. Okay. Someone says the game's already started on FanDuel. I know it, baby. I know. We gave you the heads up on the FanDuel lock. Now we're carrying you up to the DK lock. It's what we do. Peralta or Festa? I feel like I've seen this a few times. Neil, Peralta or Festa for you?
For me, it's Festa. I like the strikeout upside, and I like the cheaper price tag is, so again, if you have the salary, I guess you can pay up, but overall, I'm going to have more exposure to Festa because he's a bit cheaper.
Yeah. Producer Steve reminding everybody, smash the like button before you go. That's the toll. It's kind of, you get free content, you tip your waiter. That's our tip. You just, bam. If the waiter gives you a free drink, you make sure you tip a little extra. We're giving you the free drink, and all we're asking for is the thumbs up tip. That's all. It's just common. It's an exchange. It's not currency, but it's an exchange. Cheese, thoughts on vanilla ice cream with churros and caramel?
I don't really eat churros. I'm totally fine with it. That's not really my thing. But I would not tell you you're doing it wrong.
The churro would lose its crunch in the ice cream. It would get soggy, and really what makes a churro great is kind of some of that crunch.
I mean, you would have to carefully just dip it in at the right time, and
exactly.
So you're not just sitting it in there.
Right. That's what I had imagined, and that felt wrong. Soggy churro. Yeah. Let's see. QQ, can I fade the Rangers and win all the money? Cheese, is that viable?
Of course. I mean, you can always fade the chalk in baseball. You don't need any more information than that. If it's the chalk and you fade them, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably lose because they probably score the most runs, but always fading the chalk is a good idea.
Okay. Hoosiers Hang Banner says, I'm letting my hair down tonight, vodka and whiskey. That's a bold combination. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm into it. Good for you. Paul says, I need to know your favorite flavor of a milkshake. So Neil, your favorite, if you're going to Steak and Shake or whatever, you're getting a milkshake. What flavor are you going for?
Oreo banana.
Oh, strong.
Wow.
Strong move. Wow. Okay, Cheese, can you follow up Oreo banana shake?
No, that's a fantastic answer. And I like that he just ready to go, no doubt. It wasn't like, I do like Oreo banana. It was Oreo banana.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's great. I mean, honestly, you go boring classic, just plain old chocolate milkshake. Like just get the best thing.
Whoa, I was gonna say you go boring and you go classic and just get a vanilla shake. I'm a vanilla.
That's number 2.
Guy.
Oh, I mean, either or. Yeah. I'm more picky about my vanilla milkshake. It has to be just a certain ratio. Like you can make a kind of bad vanilla milkshake.
I agree
too easily.
There's a lot of different vanilla flavors around, which you wouldn't
weird.
Expect. But sometimes you eat vanilla and it's like tart almost. There's a lot of vanillas happening.
I like my vanilla milkshake to be almost like a cream soda flavor going on. But yeah, it is weird how many vanillas there are.
Yeah. Neil getting some love for it and getting some hate as well.
Some hate, yeah.
You come with a hot take like that. You come with something strong and bold.
It's only hot because people have not had it. If people had it, they would all agree with me.
They'd say we're done here. He was right. All right. We hit lock. We've surpassed lock, actually. I think we're going to bounce on out of here. Power saying vodka and whiskey ain't that tough. I drink 7 liquors in a Long Island. Yeah, but they're terrible. Long Island iced teas are terrible. No one actually wants that. Dean is proposing that shake flavors become a future tiers category, and we agree. But what's a bad shake flavor? Banana Oreo? I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to bounce on out of here. For Neil, for Cheese, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been